Missed a lot of things when I was away. You know, cancer, chemo, COVID, that kind of a way. Certainly miss my family, being with them. I miss my friends, making movies. I love being alive, man. And I almost lost it all. My immune system was totally shot. Fortunately, you don't have to wait around for the worst. You can up your antibodies before COVID comes knocking. Because when your antibodies are up, well, you can get back to what you love.
Straight ahead, two sides that can't find a middle ground. We'll have more on a controversial pipeline in northern Wisconsin.
Plus, a stop to scrolling on TikTok. Some Wisconsin Republicans are warning of its security issues.
And teenagers helping kids writing a letter to Santa. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Jeff Weller.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 5. I'm Dan Hagan.
And I'm Jessica Jukic. The Line 5 pipeline delivers oil from Superior through northern Wisconsin and Michigan to the Canadian border. A small part of that pipeline goes through tribal land.
And that's where the Bad River Band of Lake Superior Chippewa come in. They sued Enbridge in 2019 to remove Line 5 from their land. But the pipeline is still in use, and now a judge is warning that it might burst. Newswatch 12's Kyle Plazorski traveled to the Bad River Reservation in northern Wisconsin and has this report.
In case there is a release, it's still going to hit our watershed.
Our council voted. Get out.
I don't think the bickering back and forth between the tribe and Enbridge is working.
The Bad River Reservation is situated on the south shore of Lake Superior, and for nearly 70 years, an oil pipeline operated by Canadian company Enbridge has been flowing through the tribal land.
I'd like to see it be left where it's at.
In November, a federal judge ruled that the Bad River tribe and Enbridge need to come together to make a plan to avoid a possible catastrophic rupture to the line. Tribal and non-tribal residents say that there continues to be a possibility of a big spill if no action is taken.
But now that they're going to go along with the reroute, that's 44 miles going south of the reservation around it. So if something should burst or rupture, not only is it going to take out half, it's going to take out the whole reservation now.
I'm standing here on the Bad River Reservation, and as you can see through satellite pictures and quite frankly through looking around here on the ground, there is a big dividing line cutting through the reservation. That is the Line 5 pipeline. And as a matter of fact, if you keep going farther east of where I'm standing, you will find a section of the Bad River known as the Meander, which many say will cause a rupture to the pipeline. In a statement Enbridge sent to Newswatch 12, Line 5, quote, continues to operate safely across the Bad River Reservation. However, many within the tribe say the reservation will be better off with the pipeline removed.
Our rice is more important than any kind of money that Enbridge is going to pay us. That any kind of money that the federal government is going to make Enbridge pay us.
The biggest concern residents I spoke to over Facebook and in person agree on is that the environment is something worth protecting, which is why finding a solution is critical for tribal residents.
I'm all for protecting the water, you know, that this is the world's largest source of fresh water, and we do have a right to protect it.
Repeated attempts have been made by WJFW to contact Bad River Tribal Chairman Mike Wiggins and the Tribal Natural Resources Department, but have yet to reach back with any comment. The tribe and Enbridge have until the 17th to come to a joint agreement. If not, the federal ruling gives both parties time until December 24th to submit separate plans. Reporting here from the Bad River Reservation, Kyle Plazorski, Newswatch 12.
Thanks, Kyle. And as we saw, kind of a cold, still day out there today.
Yeah, the average high temperature is now 30. Most of us did not do that today, but that's coming. It's on the way.
I'm hoping we'll get some snow sometime soon.
You like warm temperatures and a little bit of snow?
A little bit of snow,
Okay,
yes.
let's go outside now and check on temperatures. We're hanging out in the upper 20s across the area. That can surely support snow, but, Jessica, there's not a lot of snow in our forecast anytime soon. Maybe a little bit of snow tomorrow, followed by a little bit more snow on Friday, but that's it. Just a dusting across the area both times. Okay, looking outside right now, lots of cloud cover pretty much all day long. And again, this looks like there's snow across the area. There's not. That's that's all falling apart, and this did bring a little bit of light snow to southern Wisconsin today. Mostly just drizzle down there right now. Our next weather system is this guy right here. That is caught in the jet stream. It's going to go whoop just like that tomorrow very quickly. And when we're under, we could get a burst of snow, a dusting of snow for a half hour or so tomorrow. Here it comes. You see that? About midday tomorrow for a little bit of light snow across the area. This will not be a big deal. Our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies with low temperatures not as cold. We had some lows near 0 last night, not tonight, with low temperatures down near 16. Your full forecast coming up. Dan?
Thanks, Jeff. Wisconsin's Republican representatives in Congress called on Democratic Governor Tony Evers to delete the video platform TikTok from all state government devices, calling it a national security threat. The Wisconsin lawmakers told Evers in a letter that the popular video sharing app should be removed because it can be used by the Chinese government to spy on users and promote Chinese Communist Party propaganda. Evers' spokesperson Britt Kudebeck said the administration takes cybersecurity very seriously and regularly consults with counterintelligence specialists when making decisions about state government devices. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company that moved its headquarters to Singapore in 2020. It has been targeted by Republicans who say the Chinese government could access user data.
Several families in Merrill were displaced last night after a structure fire at an apartment complex. Merrill firefighters received reports a couch was on fire at an apartment in the 1200 block of East 8th Street just before midnight on Monday. EMS says all occupants were out of the 4 apartments in the building. Firefighters quickly extinguished the flames inside of one apartment and the fire did not spread. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but initial reports indicate it was unintentional. Occupants were displaced for the night, but it's believed that 3 of the 4 apartments can soon be reoccupied. Fire crews are searching for one cat that went missing from the apartment where the fire started. This is the 3rd structure fire in Merrill since Thanksgiving. Rising costs are affecting everything from the cost of people's groceries to Merrill's city budget. The city has decided to raise their tax levy due to increased costs for their public services. For 2023, the city's tax levy for operations was increased by more than $452,000 to cover a wide range of expenses, including competitive wages, retirement benefits, and inflation, which increases the overall cost of goods. The city could have increased the tax levy to more than $26,000 for operations under state tax limits, but they instead raised the levy to more than $22,000. This results in a projected 2.5% tax rate increase. The city also is leaving 2 positions left unfilled to free up some of that budget. One police officer and the fire battalion chief will not be filled once the current employees retire at the end of 2022.
With Christmas in the air, kids are wondering what will be under their Christmas tree, but sometimes they need some help writing their letters to Santa. That's where Rhinelander High School's FBLA and DECA clubs come in. Members of FBLA and DECA are visiting local elementary schools, including Nativity Catholic today. High school members spend a few hours with elementary students to help them write their own letter to Santa Claus.
I like it that it's my last year, but I also don't because I like helping out with a lot of things. But it's also, I've gone through it 4 years, so it's kind of, I'm ready to be done.
Sophomore Brady Kowieski says it's a good way for him and the kids to get into the holiday spirit.
It's great. It's all about giving back to the community. And that's really the embodiment of Christmas, so the spirit of giving and the spirit of doing good.
On our newscast at 6, we will learn more about how RHS students are helping with this project. A tradition returned to Lakeland Union High School last night.
But Carol in the Commons this year was different. We'll learn how students stepped up this year to make sure that event happened. After Weather with Jeff, right here on Newswatch 12.
Let's go Christmas shopping at Mel's. Find trusted outdoor brands for this season's activities. Get outside and spend time doing the sports you love. Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, or ice fishing. Or enjoy casual sport clothing for all occasions. Mel's Trading Post, a downtown Rhinelander landmark.
Our biggest sale of the year is held over, so there's still time to get Black Friday deals during our huge Thanksgiving sale, held over at Slumberland Furniture. Incredible prices, plus get 30% off on top of that store-wide. Get your final chance for Black Friday deals and 30% off? Yep, held over. And don't forget, mattress shopping is easy, fast, and comfortable at Slumberland. Come see our difference and get a great sale on a mattress today. Ready, Dad?
All charged up. This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright with a special offer on select Ford vehicles. Choose a vehicle in stock or simply place a custom order. Lock in your rate and you're protected, even if rates go up before your order comes in. So much. And that's how Ford is helping you. I'm proud of you, kid. Shine bright. This season, choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Escape or Edge SUV and get 0% financing for 66 months at your local Ford dealer. And shine bright.
This Christmas, rock their world with a gift from Wickersham Jewelry. They have the hottest styles in diamonds and gold. You can even surprise her with rare polar pink sapphires. Check out silver and diamond jewelry that is essential to every woman's wardrobe. Take advantage of interest-free financing programs. And don't forget the men in your life with stocking stuffers starting at only $59. And of course, more diamonds and gold for her stocking. Visit Wickersham Jewelry, Rothschild, Marshfield, and Rhinelander.
Let's go Christmas shopping at Mel's. Find trusted outdoor brands for this season's activities. Get outside and spend time doing the sports you love. Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, or ice fishing. Or enjoy casual sport clothing for all occasions. Mel's Trading Post, a downtown Rhinelander landmark.
Welcome back, my friends. You and I get to chat weather for about 4 minutes, and there I am. Okay, so lots of clear skies early today, but then some clouds rolled back in, and overall a mostly cloudy day for us today. Same story tonight and for tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow could be a couple light snow showers across the area and some flurries in there as well. Right now we're at 28 in Rhinelander, a southeast breeze around 6, dew point there at 20, and the pressure is even at 30.00. Over in Wausau, 29 for you, a southeast breeze at 6 as well, and that dew point of 22. Very dry air locked in place right now. Around the horn, look what's going on. After low temperatures last night in Manitowish waters of 1 and 9 here in Rhinelander, up to 28 or 29 today in most locations. We stopped mostly short of 30, which is about the average high this time of year now. The average low is 14. The record low, here is what the atmosphere can do. 18 below back in 1926, and the sun set earlier at 4:14. Here's the snowfall amounts, and 14.1 inches so far this snow season. A bit ahead of last snow season, but overall, we could use some more snow. And there's a couple light snowmakers in our forecast, but it's not going to be the big one, at least for us, anytime soon. On paper, temperature-wise, 26 tomorrow, 33 for Thursday. And then look what happens. The average high being 30, 29 or so. We're going to be above that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. In fact, mid-30s are back in the forecast this weekend and beyond. At the radar, so lots of clouds out there right now, and even some light drizzle and some light snow across southern Wisconsin today. But for us, just a couple areas of cloud cover. Again, the dew points are way too low right now to get this to reach the ground. So on radar, it sees it, but it's not happening out there at all. But it will begin to tomorrow from that guy right there. It doesn't have much going for it. It's very moisture starved, but it's caught in the jet stream. It's going to get here very quickly tomorrow morning and bring us a little bit of light snow. So here it comes. Don't blink. I can put it in motion. Watch that right there. Whoop. Here it comes for tomorrow afternoon. Again, probably a dusting to an inch of snow tomorrow if you're along and north of Highway 8. It's not going to be a big deal. And with ground temperatures right at or slightly above freezing, a lot of this will probably melt on contact tomorrow as well. So it's not going to be a big travel day tomorrow at all. All right, so the models are doing this. So remember, the Euro is the good one when it comes to snowfall. It's thinking a half inch of snow or so for Rhinelander. More as you go north of there, less as you go south. This is not going to be a big snow across our area for tomorrow. Our forecast tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies. There could be a flurry in there. Look for low temperatures. Not as cold down near 16. Still cold, though, right? With a calm wind after midnight. For tomorrow, it's Wednesday. Lots of clouds around, a couple of flurries, and some light snow showers. Maybe a dusting of snow along and north of Highway 8 with high temperatures near 26 tomorrow and a north breeze around 5, barely noticeable. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwoods Furniture Metro shows light snow tomorrow, a break in the action Thursday, a little bit of light snow Friday, less than an inch once again, a high of 32. Here's the weekend with high temperatures back in the low to mid-30s. Dan?
The chairman of the House Select Committee investigating January 6th said earlier today that the committee will make criminal referrals to the Justice Department. During a question and answer session with a reporter, Congressman Benny Thompson, the committee chairman, was asked to clarify those remarks. He said the committee will make referrals, but it's not clear who will be the target or what the specific allegations will be within those referrals.
Is it fair to say that the committee has decided we've made decisions that we will make referrals. As to how many, we've not decided yet.
The committee is conducting a high-profile investigation into the attack on the U.S. Capitol and is now finalizing its work. A final report on the committee's findings is expected before the end of the year.
A jury in New York has found the Trump Organization guilty of all charges in a 15-year tax fraud scheme. Prosecutors say the scheme was orchestrated by top executives at the company. Jurors deliberated for more than a day before returning the guilty verdicts on a total of 17 counts, including scheme to defraud, conspiracy, criminal tax fraud, and falsifying business records. The company faces roughly $1.6 million in fines at sentencing. The Trump Organization was indicted last year after a multi-year investigation into the company's financial practices. Prosecutors allege that two Trump corporations paid their, quote, already high-paid executives even more by cheating on their taxes through a series of schemes that included off-the-books perks like luxury cars and free apartments. A tradition returned to Lakeland Union High School this week.
The annual Carol in the Commons welcomed community members to sing songs with the school choir during the early holiday season. But as Newswatch 12's Matt Weaver explains, there's more than meets the eye to this year's performance. Matt?
Well, that's right, Dan and Jessica. Just looking at the high schoolers perform on stage as an outsider like myself, it may have looked like just another successful performance. But for this choir, there's more to this year's performance than simply singing.
It's different than a regular concert.
For the 5th year, Lakeland Union students harmonized with locals at their concert in the Commons.
It's just a beautiful thing to see high school kids sing these lovely old English beautiful carols that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. And I think it's just heartwarming because their parents and the community just love it, and we ask them to join us in singing.
Choir director Tammy Sellner says rehearsals start long before the holidays kick off.
The kids always give me a hard time because we start singing Christmas songs at the end of October. So they're like, here it comes. But in order to be ready, that's what we do.
This year's concert took on a special meaning for the choir. After a loved one of the Sellners passed away earlier this year, the students had to step up in her leave of absence.
It just took a lot of strength to bounce back from dealing with everything the teacher was going through, because she's kind of like our moral base that we can sing off of and feel confident with.
The students took charge at mastering the rhythms and tone on their own.
During that period, she would tell us that things are going to be okay and she'll be back when she can, and so that just kind of helped us stay up and running.
Despite Sellner being in and out of rehearsals, their determination didn't waver.
I think it's all about maintaining composure and having a drive to learn your part and just sing for her and for yourselves and just enjoy it and not let her being gone slow things down.
And Sellner couldn't have been prouder of their perseverance when she returned last Thursday.
The good thing is that they, even if I'm not there, they keep going, they keep practicing, they take it seriously.
The community event was a chance for the students to see their hard work pay off.
We made huge progress, and it went from really worrying how the performance was going to go to having confidence that we were going to sound good.
In Minocqua, Matt Weaver, Newswatch 12.
Thank you, Matt. A sheriff from northern Wisconsin is retiring after 4 decades of service.
Coming up, we'll hear about what he learned through all those years. We'll be right back.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Slumberland.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Ready, Dad?
All charged up.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright with a special offer on select Ford vehicles. Choose a vehicle in stock or simply place a custom order. Lock in your rate and you're protected, even if rates go up before your order comes in.
So much.
And that's how Ford is helping you, proud of you, kid, shine bright. This season, choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Escape or Edge SUV and get 0% financing for 66 months at your local Ford dealer. And shine bright.
Are you putting off your window replacement project because of the weather? Did you know that Renewal by Andersen will replace your windows any time of the year and in any weather? Our beautiful replacement windows are made with exclusive Fibrix material, which is vastly superior to vinyl, never needs painting, and resists warping and bowing. They're custom built in the USA and installed with precision and care by our certified master installers. Plus, both our product and our installation are backed by the nation's best warranty.
I don't have to worry what the weather is outside because I know my windows are custom for this climate.
Any season is the right season to improve and transform the look of your home and add value. Call Renewal by Andersen for your free, no-obligation design consultation. Don't miss this money-saving deal with great financing. Installation is always included. Call now.
Governor Evers has ordered U.S. and Wisconsin flags to be flown at half-staff tomorrow in honor of National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. More than 2,000 people died during the Pearl Harbor attack, including 54 Wisconsin service members. In Marinette County, Sheriff Jerry Sovey is retiring after nearly 4 decades in law enforcement.
Valerie Juarez sat down with the sheriff to talk about the many changes he's seen and how he'll be spending his time.
Even after nearly 4 decades in the community, the Marinette County Sheriff is still helping people pronounce his name.
I wonder how many times people, the community, maybe have mispronounced your last name.
Oh yeah, quite often. Even my mail sometimes is Save, but it's Sove. But I've gotten used to it, and it's easy to confuse it, so I'm lighthearted about it.
But however you say it, his time as a county leader is coming to an end next month.
Everyone has their time, and now it's my time to vacate.
His most recent 12 years has been as sheriff.
When I first hit the road here, we had an old Motorola radio. You hit 2 switches and the green light came on and the red light came on when you went to transmit, but you had to let it warm up. Heck, you stop a car and you write a citation, it prints in the car. But that was unheard of years ago.
But that's not the technology that Sovey points to as his most memorable. The evolution of DNA helped his department solve a 43-year-old cold case.
When I got called and told that we finally had a DNA match on a 1976 double homicide that was unsolved for well over 40 years, I sat back and went, wow, we finally did it.
Something he says he's really proud of, to have it solved under his watch. And for those who have worked with the sheriff, like the Marinette County Jail Administrator, he describes Sovey as a hardworking and honest guy. The two have worked together for 33 years.
He was never that guy that was, I'm the sheriff and this is how it's going to be, and basically you just do what I say. Been a good guy to work with. It's been an honor to do all the stuff we did together.
As for what's next for Sovey, he says he can't wait to spend more time with family.
I'm 64 years old. I've got a bunch of grandkids now to spend more time with. I really look forward to being able to go up north and go fishing and not have to hurry back because I got to be work the next day.
Sovey's last day in office will be January 2nd. In Marinette County, Valerie Juarez, NBC 26.
At Family Foot and Ankle, our practice focuses on foot and ankle care for the entire family. We provide routine foot care such as nail and callus trimming, wound care, diabetic care, ulcer care, and more. Many of our services are often Medicare covered. Our first visit is covered by Medicare and involves a detailed podiatric history and physical examination. We'll provide care and set you up for the future. Call our office today to schedule your visit at any of our convenient locations.
Find can't-miss events in the North Woods on the event page at WJFW.com. Join Nate Myhawk Thursdays on Up North at 4 as he takes a look ahead at events happening this week in the North Woods. Sponsored by Merrill Steel.
Protecting the people and businesses in our community is our highest priority.
Our combined 126 years of history connects you to some of the best carriers in the business, like Auto Owners Insurance. Together, Klinner and Meyer Insurance bring even more expertise and more ways to protect you, all with the same unwavering support and a single commitment, protecting what matters most in your world. Together, we are Klinner Insurance. Your world protected.
Menke Automotive is your new neighbor in central Wisconsin. So now you've got a friend in the auto business. Menke Automotive prides ourselves on having happy employees because happy employees make for happy customers. When you need a new Buick, GMC, or Mazda, expert service, precision body work, or just a hot cup of coffee, come in and get to know us at Menke Automotive at the old Fred Miller location on Grand Avenue in Schofield. Menke Automotive, your new neighbors in central Wisconsin.
Goodwill starts with you this holiday season. As you get ready to open your door to family and friends, shop Goodwill for great deals on festive decor, one-of-a-kind outfits, and do-it-yourself gift supplies, perfect for any holiday gathering. You'll also be opening the door to job training and opportunities for neighbors in our community. Your purchases and donations save items from the landfill and keep the holiday spirit alive all year round. Goodwill starts with you.
There's only one place to turn for your local and high school sports highlights, analysis, and more. Friday Night Blitz on News Watch 12, Fridays at 10 p.m. Brought to you by Trackside Sales and Service and Menke Buick GMC Mazda.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Stone Innovations, Rhinelander and Plover.
Well, it was perfect. Sorry, my director just said something funny. I can't believe you did that. Okay, now it's time for skating. I'm going to stay on track here. So I went skating this morning on Squash Lake. Curse you, Chris. But this is me skating. I went skating with Kevin.
Where's Kevin? I don't see Kevin.
Well, he's taking the video right now. It's not just on a moving tripod. So I wouldn't have went out if I wasn't with another person. So it was kind of thin, probably around 4 inches. But then as actually I looked in the lake, there was like open water.
Oh, boy.
So we took some precautions. I'm sure everyone was watching me from their cabins, too. But,
I remember being out there 2 years ago with you, and they were all watching from the cabins as well, because we were out there early then as well, and they were all watching. But, most reports come back in now of 5, 6, 7 inches of ice, and that's good enough to skate on and walk on, but lots of lakes froze late this year, so we'll see. Yeah. Let's go outside now and check on temperatures, making more ice out there currently. Temperatures in the 20s. Our next weather system over there across Montana will be in our backyard tomorrow. In fact, here comes very quickly a little burst of snow tomorrow, maybe a dusting up to an inch across the UP border, and then look what happens. We're going to melt a little ice, right? Temperatures above freezing, at least high temperatures will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so a warmer trend is on the way.
It definitely doesn't feel like December.
Not yet, but it will. It'll turn.
It'll be coming up soon. Well, thank you, Jeff. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 6.